Happy Friday, folks. We're going to get into today's Detroit Lions news. A lot to get into here. A lot of training camp talk, camp battles of that nature. Aidan Hutchinson getting some love by a lot of general managers. And, we're going to go over the ranking of the position battles that was given. Huge shout out to Pride of Detroit. Still dropping a lot of articles in this lull period. So shout out to them. It is tough to come up with discussions at this point. Let's get this video started. If you're a fan of the Lions, go subscribe to the channel. Why? Because we do Lions here, and that's all it is. It's Detroit Lions 24/7, so smash that sub button. Let's get into Lions news. This one is not really news. It's not even really worthy of making a video, but I wanted to throw it on here anyways. The Lions will be facing the Colts with their new alternate uniforms, and I got to say I like their alternate uniforms. I do. I really dislike the Indianapolis Colts uniform, the normal one. I think it's one of the ugliest in all of football, and I really like this alternate uniform, so that's kind of cool that we'll be facing them with their alternate uniforms. It's like mid-November. But go check that video out. That's not really the big topic of today's video, but I just want to throw it out there because I thought it was interesting. So, Aidan Hutchinson rising up the ranks among edge rushers per NFL executives, and let's get into it. He'll be the next Nick Bosa, NFL scouting director told ESPN, banking on him getting even better, highly disruptive, physical, near rare motor. And that's what executives are thinking about our good old Aidan Hutchinson, and this is year 3 for Aidan Hutchinson. If you look at the progression that he's made, 1 to 2, 2 to 3. This is that bump that we're kind of waiting for, right? The Nick Bosa status where he's then considered, an elite pass rusher. I think if he gets to 15 sacks this year, that would be a good number for Aidan Hutchinson. I don't know if he'll ever get to the height of Nick Bosa did. I think he can. He absolutely can. He's got that ceiling, 110%. We don't know if he'll ever get there, but if it does, that's going to be great news for the Lions. Let me know in your comments about Aidan Hutchinson. How many sacks do you think he's going to get this year? I'm going with 15. I'm taking that number right there. But there's no doubt Aidan Hutchinson continues to grow. We've seen the development of his spin move, the end, I'd say, 3/4 of the way throughout the year last year, added it to his repertoire. He could bull rush, spin move. He puts his hands up in the air to block. And I know a lot of people say, well, he didn't do anything in the NFC Championship game. He actually blocked a lot of passes that resulted in incompletions. The Lions' defensive line does this quite a bit. They must be coached into always raising your hands if you can't get to it. So that's a good thing. That's coaching right there. And Aidan Hutchinson's athleticism with his ability to get to interceptions. You have that all in there. And he's right. The never-ending motor. That's Nick Bosa right there with the never-ending motor. The guy just never gives up a play, and you can see where he's going. And I got to say a massive thank you to the Jacksonville Jaguars for being absolute, utter morons for not drafting him with the first pick in the draft. Aidan Hutchinson is the best pass rusher in that draft. It is clear. And we got lucky with him in the second pick. We talked about Chase Young when he was a rookie. We're like, man, this guy's going to be great. He didn't live up to it. Aidan Hutchinson, we thought he'd be really, really good. I don't know if people think he would be like the pass rusher to be Defensive Player of the Year. I think he had the capability of doing it, but some people didn't really believe it because he got shorter arms. And they always look at, we're going to go to the NFL Combine, look at all these numbers, and we're not going to draft this guy because of the number. That's the absolute ridiculous comment. I don't care if his arms are shorter. He is the better pass rusher. He has the better motor. He never gives up, ever, ever. And with that type of mentality, he's going to be great. His practice skills are top-notch. His ability to want to play football is top-notch, to learn top-notch. He is not a diva at all. You can clearly tell he is a very humble guy in a position where he is one of the best players in the NFL. He doesn't really have to be a humble guy, but he is. He takes criticism. He is just the ultimate pass rusher, a young pass rusher to have, a guy who's a player who is going to put in everything. And so, yeah, I think this year he will start to put in the conversation that he is one of the elites. And that's awesome. That's great. And that's all we're asking for is him just to get better and better and better. And that's what he's done. So shout out to Aidan Hutchinson for getting that done. Continuing to be a player that the Lions can rely on. So in the comment section right now, go ahead and blow it up about Aidan Hutchinson. Do you think he'll get above 15 sacks or below? Which Lions player is the most at stake in 2024? And nice conversational piece here from Pride of Detroit. If you don't know, man, we're in the lull period right now, and it's really difficult to come up with ideas that's something new. And so anytime these guys are coming up with these articles, you got to give a shout out to them. So it gives us something to talk about, and it's hard sometimes. Which players has the most at stake in 2024? Which player? Great question. I have not seen the answer on this one. I haven't read it. My player who has the most at stake in 2024, my God, I think it's Jameson Williams. I think he has the most stake this year. This is the first year he's going to have the whole off season. He's not being suspended or anything like that. He's jumping up to that number 2 role. It's a pivotal year for Jameson Williams because he does get criticized a lot. And for whatever reason, there's a microscope on him, good or bad. Or, it could have been his reason why, but there is. And so I think that this year he's got to really take that number 2 wide receiver position. It's his, is his 3rd year here, right? So you would like to see him take that jump, and with the amount of criticism that he takes when he screws up with the drop pass or anything that he does, I think it's his most pivotal year. Let's see what they said here. He's like, I think he says Levan Uzurike, Marcus Davenport. Yep. Definitely Emmanuel Mosley. Carlton Davis can be thrown in there as well. Don't look like we've seen a Jameson Williams, unless I missed it. Very well could be, but that's who I'm going to go with. I do agree that Emmanuel Mosley is huge. It's a big pivotal year for him. He's got to make the roster. He's got to stay healthy. Levan Uzurike, I think he's shown he's taken that next step. I think he's done a lot with his spine. Everything that he does is good because he's doing what no one expected him to do, and that's play with a fusion. Marcus Davenport, agree. He's got a lot to prove. He better do it, man, because the Lions didn't go edge in the draft early. They picked him up in free agency. We got to have that opposite one there. So, yeah, I agree. Training camp position battles ahead of training camp, ranking them. Haven't seen it again. We're going to see it the same time here, reacted to it. All right, let's see. Number 5. Number 5 is the number 2 quarterback position. I don't have this on a top 5 list. I think Hendon Hooker is he is the QB too. He would have to really suck in preseason and training camp for Sudfeld to do that, because Sudfeld is a guy who you could throw in the practice squad. Ain't no one going to claim him. If you release Hendon Hooker, he's going to get claimed, right? So, or they go just 3 quarterbacks and they're all 3 in the roster. I don't think they do that. So I don't have this even in my top 5, but maybe you do. If you disagree, put it in the reason why you disagree. Let me know. Number 4 is the number 3 running back position. God, I would put that like at maybe number 5 or even like a 6 or 7. So now I don't think it's that big of a deal because you got Craig Reynolds and Vaki. They're going after it. One of these guys will be QB or number 3. Does it really matter, though, because they're different skill sets? That's why it doesn't matter. If Craig Reynolds ends up being running back 4, does it really change a whole lot? No, because Vaki is going to be, I think, probably more of a pass catcher if he was playing on offense. And Craig Reynolds is more of an all-around running back. So I don't really have that in my top 5. That's the reasons why. Number 3 would be the number 2 LB spot. I'd probably have that at 5. This is a relatively new, looking like it's a camp battle here. Jack Campbell and Derek Barnes. Don't know who's going to win it. I'll go with Jack Campbell. I'll take Jack Campbell potentially winning it because we draft with the 18th pick and he has made a lot of progress this offseason. Derek Barnes, though, man, that's a good problem to have. So, yeah, I would put that as 5. Number 3 wide receiver is number 2. Yeah, I can see it being number 2 for sure. We've been talking about it all offseason. Jameson Williams is going to be your number 2. Who's going to be 3? Khalif Raymond, Donovan Peoples-Jones. Definitely that position battle is the big one that one of the big ones that we're watching for the Lions here. And the kicker battle is number 1. Yeah, I think this is probably the number 1 as well. You go with Jake Bates and Michael Badgley, the Badgler, Money Badgie. So I think that is probably the number 1 battle that we get watch for because it is significant, right? Jake Bates is a completely different player from Badgley. If you have that one on the roster, it's going to be different, right? So, yeah, I agree with this one for sure. Go ahead and hit that subscribe button, that notification bell so you don't miss out on the latest Detroit Lions news and rumors.